This is going to be a bit of a weird one because even though it is a sequel to a great movie, Ant-Man, and even though it is like a weird bit of levity between Infinity War and Endgame, it's kind of self-explanatory. Like, with the first Ant-Man, I had a lot to say on that one because I knew the character's history and I knew that making a movie based on a character like that was a huge risk. But almost every other character introduction movie in the MCU, it worked out beautifully. However, this sequel, it's not nearly as good. Now, does that mean it's bad? No. It's still a good sequel. It still does a good job giving a bit more dimension to some of its ideas. And it does still have plenty of funny moments, even though most of them were spoiled by the freaking trailers. This is one of those movies that people are kind of lukewarm on, and I'm kind of the same way. I by no means hate it. I think this movie is still really good. But it's just weird to stick this in between the two best Avengers movies. I don't know, it's just weird. I mean, yes, it does a great job transitioning into Endgame with how it, ends. But outside of that, it's kind of just a weird side story thing. So, without further ado or delay, let's dive in. This will be a much shorter review than the last one because there's not a whole lot to say. If you love the first Ant-Man, you'll still really like this movie, but you won't like it as much as the first Ant-Man. Because the first Ant-Man, it's a lot funnier. It's a lot funnier, it's a lot more rewatchable, and it has a lot more to talk about. This one is more of a very solid, good sequel, but in the grand scheme of the MCU, it's kind of in the middle tier. Why? Well, let's talk about it. What's up? What's happening? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Mission Station, which is for anything and everything animation, including Marvel heroes fighting to defend the world, as well as TV and movies. I am your host, Jackson Small. Welcome back to Marvelous May. Welcome to Ant-Man and the Wasp, the sequel to one of my personal favorite and funniest movies in the MCU, Ant-Man. And it's a sequel that is good, but not great. Why? Well, allow me to explain. Thought I'd have more to say on this one, but honestly, it's pretty simple and pretty straightforward. Sometimes that just happens. Ant-Man and the Wasp is a good sequel, and has some nice comedic levity after the shocking moments of Infinity War. Until the end, where it literally blips right into Endgame. I'm gonna leave it at that. Pretty much all the positives of the first Ant-Man are still here and accounted for. You know, the pacing, the runtime, the characters, the acting, most of the comedy. It's mostly all still there, and it's all still really good. But unfortunately, so is its big negative with yet another boring villain that's even worse than the last one. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm already forgetting who it is. I think it's either Ghost or Taskmaster. I think it's Ghost. Yeah. Ghost is a pretty lame villain. I didn't like them. I barely even remember them. Sorry. And it's not nearly as funny as the first either, even with the ones that do work, which again, were ones that were spoiled in the trailer, like the giant Hello Kitty Pez dispenser. I wish they didn't put that in the trailer, because that would have been the funniest moment in the movie. But it is still funny. It still manages to have great comedic timing. It's just not as sharp the second time around as it was in the first. Maybe it's different for some people, that's just how it is for me. So, it's kind of a weird middle ground as a result. It's entertaining enough, and it is a good sequel, but it's on the side of monotonous overall. Not to the point of being bad or being cringe. We're not up to phase 4 yet. But it is still really good. It's a really good sequel to the first Ant-Man, and if you like the first Ant-Man, you'll like this just fine. But again, it still feels weird to stick it in between Infinity War and Endgame, two genuinely masterful movies. I don't know. I know we need levity after Infinity War's extremely dark ending, but this was a bit of a weird way to do it. Yes, we do get to see Evangeline Lilly as Wasp, finally, and she works great alongside Ant-Man. But outside of that, it's kind of just run-of-the-mill MCU. And I don't mean that as in bad cringe MCU like Phases 4 and 5. No, I'm talking like run-of-the-mill, typical, templated, good MCU. And because of that, this movie's really good, but it's quite flawed. It's still worth a watch regardless, though, if you haven't seen it yet. Because, again, the ending does literally blip right into Endgame, so you still have a reason to watch it, but just don't expect something nearly as funny or as incredibly memorable as the first Ant-Man, because that's not what you're going to get here. But it's still a really good movie. I want to make that clear. I do have my criticisms, but this is still a really good movie. And because of that, my final verdict is a solid 7 out of 10. Really good movie. It may be more in the middle ground of the MCU, but it's still solid, it's still fun, and it does give levity after Infinity War. So, it did its job. It's a good movie. It's worth a watch, but it's not super memorable. Alright. And next time we talk about what this entire thing has been building up to, kind of. Specifically this main first 10 years of the MCU. It is all culminated into this, even though it's technically not the last movie in Phase 3. For some reason that's Spider-Man Far From Home. I love that movie, but weird to end it on a Spider-Man movie of all things. But this is the overall ending for two of the mainstay characters of this MCU up to this point. One tragically, and the other kind of beautifully. But there's going to be a lot to talk about nevertheless, so thank you guys for watching. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe if you like these reviews and more videos like this almost every single day. And I'll see you guys next time where we tackle the massive behemoth known as the greatest thing that the MCU has ever done outside of Spider-Man No Way Home, known as Avengers Endgame. I might be able to get my bro Spider-Phantom on that one, because we've been talking about doing a collab, and I think this is the best one to do it. So, tomorrow might be, well, next one is going to be a super long review, so sit down and prepare yourself. I'll see you for Endgame, the end of the entire Infinity Saga of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Excited for what comes up ahead. Hey.